particular statement or a particular issue with President Barack Obama and his wife, and we brought up the subject of Christianity. And I found myself getting upset as she talked. And then I realized that when it comes to religion and politics, everyone thinks that they have the answer. Everyone thinks that they're right. And I started thinking, whatever you think is right is your own truth or your own absolute truth. And I started looking at it. For me, the Bible was absolute truth. And I'm going to shift gears here for a second. God put out some guidelines in the book of Genesis for Adam. He says, first he looked at himself, and he had a conversation with the Godhead, and he says, we're going to make man in our image and in our likeness. They went to the ground, they formed a man, and he breathed the breath of life into him. He breathed himself into man, and man became a living being. Now, we don't know exactly how long that is, because how long this whole process took. We know the creation of the earth was a 7-day period, but the Bible also says a day is as 1,000 years unto the Lord. So we really don't have an exact time frame of the creation. At least I didn't learn that in Bible college. Maybe someone has, looked up something since then, but I didn't learn that in Bible college. I'm just conversating with you today, some thoughts I had. So as I thought about it, he looked and he says that there's no one that's like Adam. There's no one that can. There's no one that Adam can unite with or cohabitate with to produce my vision. Because if you notice, everything that God made, he says everything had its own seed within it. He never had to make another tree. He never made another fish. He never made anything else because he gave everything the ability to procreate, to recreate itself. He put a seed inside of it. Except for Adam. There was no one for Adam to procreate with. So if Adam would have lived in a garden 3,000, 4,000 years or whatever and died, then God's vision would have been dead. Which is a principle of the Word of God. Every time God gives you a vision, it starts in a seed. It starts in a seed. He never just gives you the whole thing. It starts in a seed. So he says, I'm going to give Adam something that's suitable for him. Something that he is able to put a seed into to reproduce. You see where I'm going with this? To reproduce. That's God's vision. No one has a vision or no one builds a company in this world that does not want their company to be prosperous, that does not want their company to be able to reproduce, to create some type of what am I looking for? To create some type of vision, to create something within that vision to show that they have prospered in what they believed was a vision. Now follow me. I sound a little confusing here, but listen. So he brought Eve along, and he says she's suitable for him. And I won't even go through the whole process of how he made Eve. We know that. Begin the book of Genesis and read it. But when you read it, and I'll go back a little bit. When you read it, God gave everything a seed. Everything had a seed. Everything had a seed within itself, so it was able to reproduce. Now Adam has Eve. He's able to reproduce. He has someone to love. He has someone to talk to. He has someone to communicate with. He has someone to listen to. He has someone to listen to him. Now, God also gave them some guidelines. He says, you have dominion over everything in this garden. You can rule over everything in this garden. But he never told Adam once he brought Eve that you are to rule over her. God distinctively named everything that he was to rule over. In other words, you will rule over the birds of the air, the fish of the sea, the crops, and everything. And after God told Adam what he had rule over, he never mentioned Eve. He never told Eve, you can rule over him and he can rule over you. He never mentioned that. So when we see that term submit in the Bible, that term submit in the Bible does not mean what we think it means. When it says, wives, submit to your husband. Girl, do what I said because the Lord said submit. That's not what that means. That's not what that means at all. But I'm not going to get into that aspect of relationships because that's deep and that's like 2 or 3 messages in itself. So I'll go back to the garden. He told them exactly what they were to rule over, never included one another. So that right there tells you that slavery was null and void. God never said that another man was supposed to rule over another man, ever. Now, I know they mention slavery in the Bible, but one thing you have to be able to do is you have to be able to really listen to the Word of God and listen to the Bible, because there are ways to interpret the Bible. You can interpret there are literal interpretations, there are spiritual interpretations, there's historical interpretations, there's dispensational interpretations, and you have to understand what God is talking about. And the best way to understand what God is talking about is you have to have a relationship with God. You notice I always talk about relationship. You have to have a relationship with God, because once you have a relationship with God and you understand the purpose of Jesus, you can understand anything in the Bible. Once you build that relationship, because that relationship is going to speak to your spirit and tell you what's right and what's wrong. When I gained a relationship with God, there was no way on this God's green earth you can make me believe that God was going to send somebody to hell because they were a female and they wore a pair of pants. That I didn't believe it, or because she wore makeup. I just did not believe that. I did not believe that God wanted me poor. I didn't understand how God can say he has a cattle on 1,000 hills and I be poor. I didn't understand, this is when I was a young guy, how God could outfit the Levitical priesthood with all those diamonds and rubies and sapphire. Just their chest probably was worth millions and millions of dollars, and they were under the Levitical priesthood, but yet give me nothing. I never understood how when David built the temple of God, how God gave him instructions on everything to get. David had to go get wood from other countries. There were certain things laid in gold, overlaid in gold and silver. God is a very extravagant God. So when it comes to me, I just never understood, why do I have to live off meager means and barely make it if this is how God lives? It never made sense to me. And if you really study God's mind and you study the Word of God, a lot of things that religion tell you will not make sense. It's not part of that absolute truth, which is the Bible. We have taken the Bible, we have taken the Word of God, and we have altered it based on our own personal absolute truth. And half folks that talk about the Bible don't go to Bible college, so they don't understand no historical content of the Bible. They take no theology courses, but yet they argue with you over the Word of God when they really don't understand the Word of God. When you go to Bible college, you get a better, now, I'm not saying the Bible college is going to help you know everything and it's going to make you all knowing, but it does help out it does give you the ability to rightfully divide the word of truth, and it helps you to correctly see some historical aspects as well as spiritual aspects of the Word of God. So I would challenge you to go to Bible college and learn more about your craft if this is what you're going to do. Now, back to what I was saying. Adam and Eve. Eve goes, they're in the garden, right? The devil approaches Eve. You notice he did not approach Adam. Listen to this. This is good. I'm going to tell you why the devil didn't approach Adam. He didn't approach Adam because he needed Adam to go against God. Adam was not going to go against God because he loved God more than Eve loved God. But Adam was not going to go against God because there's one thing about a man is we understand respect and orders and laws and rules. We understand that to the fullest. We will die trying to protect our honor. We will die trying to be respectful. If you've been following the news, the Suge Knight incident with this one guy that he ran over, the judge said that the lawyer said that the guy wouldn't even testify against Suge Knight because he wasn't a snitch. It's not really about being a snitch. It's more about the respect I get based on the respect that a snitch gets. See, it's respectful. It's just a word. It's a man thing. I'd rather die than go against the code, than go against the respect, than go against this or to be called a coward. Well, that's why the enemy didn't approach Adam. He didn't approach Adam because Adam had an unidentifiable super respect for God. There was a bond there. Adam was told, do not touch this tree. So the enemy knew that Adam wouldn't touch that tree. Well, when he approached the woman, he knew that if he talked to her in just the right way, he could sway her emotionally and get all her emotions stirred up to make her move against God. Because see, women don't have that same level of respect, honor, courage, and commitment to something, to a word that a man does. A woman is gonna move in the way that she feels is right. Notice I said the way she feel. A man can ignore his feelings and move on, such as say he love you, have sex, and then after he has sex, never talk to you again. Ignore his feelings, what I'm saying, and move on. Whereas a woman, anything that she connects to relationally, anything that she deals with, she creates a relationship. She invests herself into it. She takes what you give her. She incubates it. That's why she has a womb that you put a seed in and she gives you a baby, because that's her principle. That's her makeup. You give a woman a shoe, she want another shoe. Give her a dress, she want another dress. Because she takes things. She's a taker. A man is a giver. Hence, look at the sexual part. He gives, she takes. He gives, she takes. She incubates, she matures, she grows. Well, she saw the fruit of that tree as a way to take care of her family. She saw the fruit of that tree as something delicious. She didn't care about God's word. And Eve probably was saying, you know what? If he didn't want us to touch the tree, why did he put the tree in the garden? Why put a tree here if you don't want us to touch it? God, what is the purpose of the tree being in the garden? The devil probably said, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. God knows if you eat from this tree, you're going to be just like him. What? Just like God? You know good and evil, girl. If you're just like God, you can make some things happen. You can make some things happen for your family. This tree is good for food. It looks nice. There ain't no reason why you can't deal with this tree just like you deal with every other tree. She took from the tree, ate, and gave to her husband who was with her. The big problem here is Adam and Eve both knew that God said we're not supposed to do this. So what happened is they did a role reversal. He sit back and allowed the woman to go out and do the work or whatever she was doing, because she shouldn't have even been at that tree. He sit back and he watched her be tempted of the devil. He watched her maneuver. Now, there may have been a conversation between Adam and Eve. I guess God said it ain't even relevant to mention what he said. Because he probably did say, come on, girl, you know God said we can't eat from that tree. Well, Adam, it's good for food. God said we can't eat from the tree, Eve, but Adam, it's beautiful. God said we can't eat from the tree, Eve. You know what? God shouldn't have put us here. I'm eating from this tree, okay? And then Adam probably said, oh my God, I don't feel like putting up with this. Girl, go and get your fruit. That's how it worked. I gave an illustration couple of weeks ago on, I'm doing a little side thing here. I'm just talking to you this morning. It's morning where I'm at. You like my Mickey Mouse cup? I gave an illustration last week or a few weeks ago in regards to how a man and a woman operate. You sign your little boy up for football, right? Now, I'll take that a little bit further to try and help you see how men and women think. But before I go there, I'll give you a principle. In order to effectively operate in a marriage or in a relationship, you have to listen. You have to make compromises. You have to understand your partner. Why did I say partner? You have to understand your husband or your wife. And if you ain't married, your boyfriend or your girlfriend, you have to understand exactly where they're coming from. You have to sit down and listen. You have to understand what type of person you're dealing with. That's what I like about the PhD that I did, pastoral clinical counseling, because in the program what we use is what we call the Arnold profile system. I'll give you a 54 question test. All 54 questions are pretty much the same. They just ask you in a different way. I'll send it in, they'll evaluate it, and it comes up with 3 areas: inclusion, control, and affection. How are you in the area of inclusion, meaning how much do you want to be included, and how much how you display you want to be included versus how much you really want to be included? How much how much control do you want versus how much you display how much control you want? Or how much affection do you really want and how you display, how much you display, how much affection you really want. Because see, sometimes, and I'll break that down for you. I gave a survey to about 60 people, and 98% of them said when they got the results back, it gives you like a 5 or 6 page printout. 98% of everyone said it was 100% right. I even had to take it before I entered the program, and when I read it, I said, "Wow, this is me. This is so much me." So I said, if my wife could read through this and understand this is how I think, whoa, we could be on a new level in a relationship, because I did one on her, and she didn't read mine. You know, I won't tell her I told you that, but I read her, so I know when she's acting a certain way and why she's acting that certain way. Like in my wife's printout, it says she's the type of person that likes you to read her mind. You just need to know. Well, that's impossible unless I'm a witch, and this is witchcraft. I'm not gonna just know what you want. That's why God gave you a mouth and a tongue to communicate your thoughts, to communicate your heart to me. Well, enough of that. If you want more information on that, contact me on Facebook or via email. I'm going to open up my office pretty soon, and I'm going to have reasonable prices. I want to figure out a way where I can do it on the internet also, via Skype, or even just just talking. And I promise you, it'll help you. Back to the Adam and Eve thing. So Eve had a problem with the tree, and it seems like Adam didn't have a problem with the tree. It seemed like he just understood. So it's like you take little Jimmy to the football field. You pay $25 for his little fee, buy all of his equipment. But Jimmy's sorry. Little Ray Ray is no good. The man and the coach have a talk. You know what? The coach say, big Ray Ray. Little Ray Ray ain't good. Big Ray Ray say, "I know he ain't, coach. I don't even want you to put him out on the field." The coach, "Well, we can let him play anyway." Big Ray Ray, "No. He's representing Duncan. So if you put him out on the field, he run the ball the wrong way, he gonna make me look bad. No. I got my respect. I'll take him home and work on him first. And when I think he's ready to get out on the field, I'll get him out on the field." So then he go talk to little Ray Ray, explain it to Ray Ray. Ray Ray crying, but Ray Ray eventually get it. So the dad take Ray Ray home. He's throwing balls. He's working him. The mom comes outside and says, "What are y'all doing?" "Oh, we're practicing for the game. So the big game come up. You got Big Ray Ray, and since my cousin like this, I'll say Big Ray Ray and Trishana, the TT. Big Ray Ray and TT go to the game, right? So Lil Ray Ray is sitting on the bench. TT, which is his mom, is sitting on the bench also. She's getting anxious because, it's the first quarter, first couple plays. So she want to know, "Babe, hey, why Ray Ray not out there?" "Oh, but don't worry about it, babe. He gonna go. Just watch the game." So she, "It's a second down. Babe, why Ray Ray ain't out on the field?" "Babe, this is just a second down. Hold up, the game we 2 minutes into the game. Just had the kickoff. Ray Ray ain't gonna go yet." So first quarter's over. T is livid. She's mad now. "Hey, why is my son not on the field?" Hold up. She shuts the husband down. She don't want to hear nothing he has to say. "Why is he not on the field? I paid $25 just like every other parent's son that's on that field right now. Did we not pay for equipment? Did we not pay $25? Did we not take him to the practices? Did we not do our part?" The husband says, "Yes." This is like Eve at the tree. The husband says, "Yes." All out of his mind, he thinking, "Oh, wish this woman shut up. She don't understand. Ray Ray will get the ball and run the wrong way. He just ain't no good." And she said, "Well, I want Ray Ray on the field." So finally the husband said, "Look, honey, Ray Ray ain't no good. I talked to the coach. I'm going to work with him. And maybe by the third or fourth game, he'll be okay, and we can let him play." And she goes, no. Ray Ray gonna play this game. I paid $25. My baby want to play. She look, "Hey, baby, don't you want to play?" "Yeah, mama, my baby is going to play in this game. If I got to go down there and yank the coach up, if I got to throw chairs, I will tear this stadium up. Lil Ray Ray will play this game." And finally, the husband is so upset. The coach is so upset. "All right, he can play." They put Ray Ray in. Ray Ray get the ball, run the wrong way. Ain't nobody cheering for him. but his mama. She's happy. She's excited because her baby got to play. He ran the wrong way. She don't care. She said, baby, I don't care which way you run. I don't care if we even win the game. Just as long as you have fun, long as you love what you're doing. Now see, that's a woman's way of thinking. Now, is that wrong? No, that is not wrong. But you have to put things in perspective. We're playing a game that we want to win, and your son is not good enough. So there is a process that has to take place to get him to the point where he is good enough so we can win. Because ultimately, winning is what you want. Now, the laws and the principles and the concepts that TT was mentioning to Big Ray Ray, there was nothing wrong with that. All those were absolute truths. They were truths that she believed, and a lot of them you probably could find the same principles in the Bible. But just because it's true does not mean it has to be placed in that place at that time, because there is something called wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to place knowledge in the proper place at the proper time to get a desired result. That's my definition. And you have to actually know what you're talking about. You have to understand Christianity. You have to understand politics. You have to understand your wife. You have to understand your husband, because if you don't, you will never place the knowledge where it needs to be placed. You will never listen where you need to listen. Although you may accomplish what you want to accomplish, you may get what you want out of the situation, but the overall goal is not met because there was not a conjoint effort. There was not a working together here in what we would call an absolute truth in our own personal vision. That's what happened in the garden. Adam just gave up. There was a role reversal, and even till this day, there are role reversals. If you want a successful relationship, you have to listen to one another. You have to communicate. You have to sit down and hear the other person out without interrupting. Go away and think about it. Talk about it with some other people before you come back and give a response, so you can give the right response. And I guarantee you it'll work out. Now, even though I'm preaching this and even though I'm saying this, is this a hard thing for me to do? Because I'm very passionate about anything that I believe or say. I can talk about a stick that you found outside and I'm going to get into it. My blood start rushing. I just feel like I'm about to pass out. I get so into it. So guess what? When I get angry, I'm the same way. I'm just really, really passionate about everything that I deal with or that I talk about. I have this passion. Well, that passion is not always accepted as right, and is not always accepted as wrong. It's not always accepted in the way that I am trying to present it. So it's very important to allow a person to talk. It's very important for you to listen. It's very important for each party to understand and know the person. Women, get books written by great men teaching you how a man thinks. Men, get great books written by anointed men of God also teaching you, or women, better yet, written by a woman teaching you how a woman thinks. Or better yet, women, go talk to your daddy, your brother, or your uncle. They'll tell you. Guys, go talk to your mother, your aunt, or your sister. They'll tell you. Because what trips me out is these talk shows when you get women on a talk show trying to describe what they think their husband is thinking. Or men on a talk show trying to describe what they think their wife is thinking. You probably don't really know if you don't know that person. Learn the person.